Everyone, this is the second video of this line-wise explanation series of the chapter We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together. In the video number 1, we got to know about the family and their different kinds of techniques, the boat, wave walker, and their planning in order to have the longest journey, and the disaster that they are about to face, and almost the narrator is about to die. So whether he is dead or not, that we will get to know in this particular video number 2. So pay attention. I am reading from page number 14, the second last paragraph. Unexpectedly, my head popped out of the water. A few meters away, wave walker was nearly capsizing, her masts almost horizontal. Then a wave hurled her upright. My lifeline jerked out. I grabbed the guardrails and sailed through the air into the wave walker's main boom. So the narrator is not dead. He somehow survived, and when he is out of the wet water, that time he can see that the entire boat is about to turn down. But then suddenly another wave came and the boat is again in the right position. And then he has has given his best in order to enter into the main boom. Subsequent waves tossed me around the deck like a rag doll. My left ribs cracked, my mouth filled with blood and broken teeth. Somehow I found a wheel lined up with the stern for the next wave and hung on. And I can feel that my left ribs are broken, already cracked, my mouth filled with blood and broken teeth. Then also somehow I managed. Water everywhere. I could feel that the ship had water below, but I dared not abandon the wheel to investigate. And I can feel that the entire ship is under the water, but I don't have the courage to leave the wheel, the steering, in order to investigate that what happened actually. Suddenly, the front hatch was thrown open and Mary appeared. "We are sinking," she screamed. "The decks are smashed. We are full of water." "Take the wheel," I shouted as I scrambled for the hatch. And the wife ultimately came and she is informing the husband, the narrator, that we are about to die. The entire boat is smashed. The decks are smashed. And then the narrator is saying that, "No, take the wheel." And then he started planning. Means he is calling his wife to have the steering, to have the control of the boat, and let me check that what happened and what I can do. Larry and Herb, means the two assistants, the two helpers that they took from Cape Town, they are also doing something. Let's see. Larry and Herb were pumping like madmen. Broken timbers hung at crazy angles. The whole starboard side buckled inwards. Clothes, crockery, charts, tins, and toys sloshed about in deep water. So the entire things, all the things that is completely smashed. The you can see the whole starboard side means the right hand side of the boat, it is completely smashed. I half swam, half crawled into the children's cabin. "Are you all right?" I asked. "Yes," they answered from an upper bunk. "But my head hurts a bit," said Sue, pointing to a big bump above her eyes. I had no time to worry about bumped heads. So he entered into the children's cabin, and there also he asked that whether everything is all right or not. Then the daughter is saying that everything is okay, just I got hurt. And we can see that here is the line that my head hurts a bit, but it was a big bump. But the narrator is not having the time regarding that injuries. He anyhow have to save all the crew members and the family members. After finding a hammer, screws, and canvas, I struggled back on deck with the starboard side bashed upon. We were taking water with each wave that broke over us. If I could not make some repairs, we would surely sink. Now he is, giving his best that in order to whatever parts of the boards are already injured, whatever parts of the boards are already smashed, he is trying to repair those parts. Otherwise, we would surely sink. Somehow, I managed to stretch canvas and secure waterproof hatch covers across the gaping holes. Some water continued to stream below, but the most but most of it was now being deflected over the side. More problems arose when our hand pump started to block with the debris floating around the cabins and the electric pump short circuited. Now, more two problems came. There are two pumps. One is the hand pump and another one is the electric pump, and both of them are not working. The first one is not working because of the it was already blocked with debris, means the scattered pieces of rubbish, and the second one is not working because somehow it was short circuited. The water level rose threateningly. Back on deck, I found that two spare hand pumps had been wrenched overboard along with the forestay, sail, the jib, the dinghies, and the main anchor. So this was he can find out, and he is trying his level best in order to save the entire boat. Then I remembered we had another electric pump under the chart room floor. Then suddenly he remembered that no, we are also having another electric pump. I connected it to an out pipe and was thankful to find out that it worked. And the third the extra pump, the electric pump, ultimately it worked. The night dragged on with an endless, bitterly cold routine of pumping, steering, and working the radio. We were getting no replies to our Mayday calls. And the entire night dragged with an endless, bitterly cold routine. You can see that the entire atmosphere, the entire night, the disaster ultimately started at about 6 p.m. So the entire night, you can understand that what kind of atmosphere it was. If you have seen Life of Pi, then you can visualize the entire thing, the atmosphere of the sea, the struggle of the boy. So here also the same thing. Okay, so we were getting no replies to our mayday calls, and there was no signals or from the radio stations and nothing, because and it was not at all a surprise, which was not surprising in this remote corner of the world. Shu's head had swollen alarmingly. She had two enormous black eyes, and now she showed us a deep cut on her arm. Now the doctor is showing the entire, the injuries that what happened to her. When I asked why she hadn't made more of her injuries before this, and when the father is asking, the narrator is asking, why you have not showed it to me before that this happened to you, she replied, I didn't want to worry you when you were trying to save us all. So, this is the understanding of the family members. She is just 7 years old, I think, and she is saying what? That I don't want you to save me on that particular moment, because you were trying to save the entire boat, all the members of the boat. That is why I didn't, you know, go to you and inform you regarding these injuries. So this is the emotional attachment definitely between the family members, among the family members. So in this part 1, this is the entire part 1. Okay, so here the part 1 ends. You can see they're trying to save us all. Now in this part 1 we have made 2 videos. Part 1 is about the journey, and if we say video wise, video number 1 is all about the planning and plottings, and the disaster happened and the writer was about to die. Video number 2, we got to know that the writer is not dead, somehow they survived, and the different techniques that they ultimately took, the hand pumps and the right hand side of the board, whatever the pumps, all they have tried their level best in order to save them. And then the emotional attachment of the family members, right? So let's see on the next part that what happened to this particular family, right? So go through the details again and again and read the text. Thank you.